Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kassandra and I'm going to take you through this afternoon yoga flow. This is a great practice to do at midday or at the end of your workday as a way to rebalance and stretch everything out. So if you've been sitting or standing for long periods of time, this should feel really good in your low back as well as in your hips. A little bit of strength, but really the emphasis on this is on opening up our body, releasing any tension that we've accumulated throughout the day, and working on flexibility a little bit. So I would say this is probably intermediate in level, and I'm not using any props for this practice. We're going to start seated in a variation on deer pose. So I'll just turn here. In your deer pose, you want to bring your right shin parallel to the top of the mat. Left shin parallel to the longer edge of your mat, and I'm aligning my ankles with my knees and my knees with my hips. And from here, we're going to reach our left arm out to the side. You can bring your right fingertips behind you for support here, and you're going to twist and contract over towards that right knee. So really round it in. You're probably not going to be able to go very far into this one. You'll feel this into your left hip. So just round, hold here as you breathe. Take one more full deep breath. And now moving in the opposite direction, you're going to open up through your chest, looking over, going more towards that left leg, left thigh, expanding through your heart, leaning back a little. Take one more full breath. And we'll move in and out of those two poses. So this will be your inhale. And as you exhale, you round and contract as you twist. So almost like a cat and cow. Inhale, open up. And exhale, round it in and twist. Two more like this. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, open up. Last one, exhale. And now facing over towards that right knee, so you're kind of moving in a little diagonal. Walk your hands out in front of you and fold. 5 deep breaths here. And you might be up a little bit higher on your forearms. Or you can always do like what I'm doing here, stacking the palms to rest your forehead. Just melt your shoulders away from your ears. Just really starting to open up into our hips. Push your hands into the floor, start to lift on up, and from here we're coming into our heron pose. So you're going to bring that left knee in. You want your left thigh parallel to the longer edge of your mat with your foot on the outside of your glute. And then you can bring your right foot either flat to the floor. And maybe you're just working at lifting your chest up nice and tall, drawing your lower belly in. Or you can hold on to your right foot and extend the leg any amount. So my hamstrings are super, super, super tight and sore. So you can absolutely keep a bend in that leg, work on rolling your shoulders back, opening through your heart. And just working on this range of motion here. One more full deep breath. And let's extend our right leg out in front of us. We're going to bring that left foot in and cross your left foot over the top of your right thigh. You can hook your right elbow to the inner thigh crease. Left fingertips go back behind you. Open your chest into your twist. Try to eliminate any rounding or slouching. Think of growing taller from this pose. And facing forward again, let's bring our left foot to the inside of that right thigh. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky, head to knee, fold it down. So again, inviting those hamstrings to relax and loosen, stretching them out, but also really lengthening out of your lower back. No tension in your neck. Coming all the way back up, let's find our deer pose on the other side. So you might need to shift a little bit to the left side of your mat. Left shin aligns to the top, right shin aligns to the side of the mat, knees aligned with your hips, ankles aligned with your knees, flexing through your feet. Bring your left hand fingertips behind you for support. Reach your right arm out, and we're going to twist towards our left leg and really think of rounding and contracting here. And maybe this is easy for you, but I know for me, I feel this quite intensely. And we're just going to hold it here for a few breaths, really extending and reaching out through your right fingertips, drawing your chin to your chest. One more full breath cycle. And now reverse this motion by opening your heart up and leaning back. Really broadening here. Stretching through your chest and through your shoulders. And now let's do both of those. Take an inhale where you are, and as you exhale, twist and contract. Inhale, open up. Exhale, twist and round. 2 more. Come all the way back, and now we're going to face over towards that left knee. So folding more in a diagonal. Over your thigh, relax your belly. Try to let gravity do the work for you here, making this a little bit more passive in nature. One more big deep breath. And go ahead and lift on up into your heron pose on the other side. So bring your right knee up. You want your foot next towards your heel, your heel next towards your glutes. Aligning your thigh bone parallel to the longer edge of your mat, and maybe just working on the pose from here. Rolling your shoulders back, lengthening up tall, or you can hold onto that foot and straighten the leg any amount. So don't worry here, you can also hold somewhere else along your leg if this is more appropriate and suitable. I like to bend and stretch a little bit here, especially as we're just working on opening up through the back of the legs. One more big stretch, and drop that leg. And we're going to cross our right foot over the top of the left thigh, really push down into your big toe, cross your left elbow to the inner thigh crease, right hand goes back behind you as you twist, maybe looking over your right shoulder. Press your shoulders down. Even here, lengthen out of your lower back. Coming all the way back through to center, bring your right foot to the inside of that left thigh. Inhale, find some length, and fold. Notice what parts of your body Try to stay tensed up. And we'll lift on up, letting this go. Let's make our way into a tabletop pose. And we're gonna go actually a little bit wider than our tabletop stance. So instead of having your palms directly underneath your shoulders, walk them a couple inches forward. You're gonna tuck your toes under and come to a hovering tabletop stance. So you're lifting your knees a little bit off the mat. Draw your lower belly in. Spine is nice and tall, and go ahead and straighten your legs. So you're coming forward to your plank pose, push back into your heels. See if you can stretch into your calves. Bend your knees back to floating table, and then go ahead and lift your hips up and back, this time pushing your heels again into the mat, stretching a little bit further into your calves and into your ankles. Reach your chest towards your thighs, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Let's come back into our floating table, strong through your core. Press forward into your plank pose, hug the inner upper arms. Floating table and downward facing dog. Find your stance here in down dog. We're gonna hold. And lean your weight on your on your left leg a little bit so you can reach your right leg up to the sky, bend your right knee and open up your hip. And let your weight lean onto your left hand, maybe come up onto your right fingertips as you look underneath your right shoulder. So a big side body stretch. And we'll step our right foot to the outer edge of our right palm to the top of the mat, a wider stance than what you normally would have. Come up high onto your fingertips here as you melt your hips down and roll your shoulders back. And maybe just rock a little bit back and forth. Bring some strength and energy back into your hips so you can lift them up a little bit and toe heel your right foot so your feet are now hip width distance apart. You're going to come up so your fingertips are hovering off the floor, strong through your legs. High lunge, Ashta Chandrasana, lift on up, bend into that front knee, arms reach up overhead. Take a big breath in here. And bring your fingertips down to the floor, straighten your front leg any amount. See if you can press that back heel into the mat. Fold your head towards that knee, towards your shin. Try to square your hips to the front of the mat as much as possible. From here, go ahead and bend into your front knee. We're going to step back just a tabletop pose so you can drop that back knee and bring them both down. Walk your hands out in front of you, Anahata, your puppy pose stretch. Really focus on your shoulders and upper back here. So I know it's tempting to just let our belly drop to the floor, but try to draw and pull your lower belly in so you're flattening out your lower back, and see if you can press just your chest, your heart, and your shoulders down, getting that big stretch. And you can keep your elbows lifted off the mat for this one, making it a little bit more active. Just 2 more breaths here. We're not here very long. Relax your arms, shift forward into your plank pose. Shift forward into your Sphinx pose. Open through your chest, roll your shoulders back. And Shalambhasana, your locust pose. Let's interlace our fingers behind the lower back. Roll your shoulders back, keep the back of your neck long here. Start with your upper body lifted, and then maybe add the legs as well. So working that posterior chain, reach back through your heels, through the balls of your feet. Keep your knuckles off of your tailbone. And exhale to release. Press your hips back all the way back. onto your heels. And we're going to swing our right arm all the way up and over. See if you can push to lift your hips up. And release, switch sides, left arm swings. Use the support of your right hand to pick up those hips. Big thigh stretch here. And release, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Palms shoulder width distance apart, feet are hip width distance apart. Push back into your heels, lengthen out through your chest, through your arms. Lean on your right leg and stretch your left leg up and back. Bend your left knee, open up your hip. And lean to your right side a little bit here so that you can come up onto your left fingertips and maybe look underneath your shoulder. Squeezing your heel to your glute. Find that wide lunge so you're stepping your foot to the outer edge of your palm. Coming up onto your fingertips, maybe just rocking back and forth. Pelvis can be heavy. Roll your shoulders back and down. Now engage the legs a little bit to push into the floor. Toe heel your feet closer in so you're hip width distance apart, and just hover your fingertips off the mat. You really need to engage your abdominals here. And as you push your feet into the floor, we lift up into our high lunge, Ashtachandrasana. I need to bend my back knee. You might be able to keep it straight. I just find that I tip forward too much. When my leg is straight, try to avoid that. So strong through your core. Lengthen all the way up to your fingertips and bring your hands down to the floor. Straighten your front leg any amount. And you might need to bring that back foot in an inch or two in order to ground the back foot so you're a little bit more stable and able to balance here. Squaring off your hips. And go ahead and bend into that front knee, tabletop stance. We'll come back into that heart opener, into our puppy pose stretch. This time, if you'd like, you can bend your elbows, press your palms together, and reach your arms towards the back of your head. Same thing applies. Try not to find this in your lower back. Pull your lower belly in, try to isolate through your upper back in the pose. It'll probably make it harder than what you're used to doing, but we're trying to get into those stickier areas of the spine versus relying on the parts that are already flexible. And you can go ahead and straighten your arms, shift forward into Sphinx. And maybe you want to stay into Sphinx, or you can come up into Seal Pose. So Sphinx, you keep your forearms down on the ground. Seal Pose, you're pushing to lift up. If this feels like pain in your lower back, please don't do it. Keep your elbows down. Again, we're trying to push kind of our pubic bone into the floor and focus on your mid and upper back more so than your lower back. It's almost like you're trying to drag and pull your heart forward. Releasing it down, locust pose, shalambhasana. Interlace your hands the more unusual way, the other thumb on top. Roll your shoulders back, upper body first, and then the legs. Keep the back of your neck long. There's no need to look up here. No tension in your neck. And keep your hands lifted off of your tailbone, as if someone was pulling on your hands and lifting you up even higher. Release, press your hips all the way back to your heels. We'll do that same little swinging camel variation. Right fingertips go behind you, swing your left arm forward and back, pick up those hips. And release, other side. let go, finding your last downward facing dog. So one more big stretch here. Pressing back through your legs, through your chest. Let's bring our knees and our legs out in front of us. Go ahead and straighten your legs here. You're kind of aligning your heels with the top of the mat. Reach your arms out and you're going to curl and contract. Really feel your lower abdominals engage as you slowly lower down. So we're not dropping. We're going one vertebrae at a time. Try to keep your heels grounded all the way down. And go ahead and reach your arms up overhead. Big stretch here. And we'll find our reclined pigeon pose. Cross your right ankle over the top of your left knee and pull it in. See if you can keep your upper back, your shoulders, and the back of your head on the floor. As relaxed as possible. One more big squeeze here. And just keep that figure 4 shape, but let your left foot come flat to the floor, and we'll take our IT bend stretch. Let your left thigh drop to the side until your right foot comes in contact with the floor. And I like to just use my left hand to push my knee away from me. Right arm can stretch out to the side. So we're looking for a big stretch through our outer right hip. And one more big breath. And we can release the pose. Find reclined pigeon on the other side, left ankle on the top of your right knee. Flex your foot and pull through. No tension in your neck or in your shoulders. Try to really make this easy if you can. Not because you won't feel sensation or a deep stretch, but easy in the sense that you're breathing ease into the pose. You're allowing yourself to soften and to relax a little more. Bring your right foot flat to the floor. We'll find our IT band stretch on the other side. So you're going to drop until your left foot comes flat to the floor. Use your right hand maybe to push that knee away from you. You might need to readjust a little bit with your legs here. Left arm reaches out to the side. So the further away you have your legs, the less intense you'll feel this. If you crawl them up more towards the shoulders, you'll get deeper into the pose. And let's release, come back through to center. Pull your knees to your belly, rock a little side to side. And let's find Shavasana, our final resting pose. Take up some space. So you're bringing your heels towards the corners of your mat, opening up through your arms, closing your eyes. Slow, steady breaths. Just feeling the effects of this practice. Letting yourself relax fully for another minute or so. And begin to breathe a little bit deeper. You can roll your wrists and your ankles. Stretch your arms up overhead again, lengthening it all out. And you can roll to one side, push into the floor, come on up. Taking a seat, hands at your heart, Anjali Mudra. Finding your center here. And we'll close with the chant of Om one time. Inhale to chant. Big breath in. Om. Namaste. Thank you so very much for doing this practice with me. I do hope that you enjoyed it and that it helped to bring you back into balance in your midday afternoon break. Please subscribe, leave me a comment below to let me know how this went, and hopefully I will practice again with you tomorrow.